We have some fun prospect promotions to talk about up next on Fantasy Baseball Today in 5. Welcome into FBT in 5 on Wednesday, April 17th. I am Frank Stampfl, joined by Chris Towers, and let's start things off with Jack Leiter. The Rangers are promoting their top pitching prospect to start on Thursday. He's 23 years old, second overall pick back in 2021. It's mostly been a struggle for Leiter in the minors, but he made some tweaks towards the end of last season, showed up this spring, pitched a little bit better, and in 3 starts at AAA, it's a 3.77 ERA, .98 whip, 25 strikeouts over 14 and a third innings, only 34% rostered. Chris, would you be looking to add Jack Leiter ahead of his debut?
So there are some widely available pitchers who I prefer. Ryan Weathers looked really good on Tuesday night. Edward Cabrera looked great on Monday. I would prioritize those guys. But like on the full episode of the show, we talked about some pretty boring starting pitchers who had good performances like Casey Mize and Lance Lynn and John Gray. I would prioritize Jack Leiter over any of those guys just because while if you look at the overall numbers in the minors, I think it's like a 5.7 ERA. It's been really bad for him. Progress is not linear, especially when it comes to pitching prospects who have a lot of things that they have to work on, mechanics, velocity, all that stuff. And Jack Leiter seemed to find something towards the end of last season. This spring, the stuff numbers were really, really good, much better than they had been last year at AAA. AAA numbers so far, he's been, I think, one of the 5 best pitchers in AAA in terms of Saris' Stuff Plus model, so that's a great sign. Look, I don't think Jack Leiter's a surefire hit. There's a chance he comes out and is terrible, walks 6 guys in 3 innings and gets sent right back down. But he's looked more like the guy he was at Vanderbilt if you're not a person who follows college baseball, there's a chance you still know this guy's name. And it's not just because his dad was Al Leiter. So he was really good in college, and I'm excited to see what he can do. If you've got a roster spot to play with, add Jack Leiter just in case.
The Dodgers promoted outfield prospect Andy Pages, and that's spelled P-A-G-E-S, 23-year-old, mostly known for power. He missed most of last season after undergoing surgery to repair a torn labrum in his right shoulder, but he was off to a great start at AAA, where he was batting .371 with 5 homers, 91.3 average exit velocity. Spoke to our buddy the Welsh, who said he saw Andy Pages in spring training. Phenomenal shape, the best shape that he's seen Pages in, and so far so good. He went 1 for 4 with a run scored, 2 strikeouts in his debut, 17% rostered, widely available. Is this only 5 outfielder leagues for now? Are you actually looking to add Andy Pages? What do you think?
So one thing is just that MLB.com, in writing about his call-up, did note that he's probably just going to play against righties early on. So that's one thing to keep in mind that could limit his upside. For most of his minor league career, the story on Andy Pages was that he hit for a lot of power. You don't see a lot of guys hit 20, 25 homers in the low minors. He was doing that, but it wasn't because he was crushing the ball. It wasn't huge exit velocity numbers. It was maximizing his swing for pull and fly balls. This season, though, I think 91 mile per hour average exit velocity, max exit velo's up, I think, over 110. So that's a good sign for a guy coming off a torn labrum, especially. So while I think it's probably just a power profile, if you've got a roster spot to play with, the Dodgers really like this kid. They're a smart organization. It's possible he comes up and forces his way into the everyday lineup and sticks around. So yeah, I'll take a flyer.
Let's wrap up with a quick conversation on Jared Jones, who was incredible at the Mets. 5 shutout innings, 1 hit, 0 walks, 7 strikeouts, 15 swinging strikes on only 59 pitches. So there's some give and take here, Chris, because obviously he continues to look amazing. But the fact that the Pirates limited him to 59 pitches in this start, it sounds like that could continue to happen throughout the season. So the upside is incredible. It might be capped just a little bit here on Jared Jones.
Yeah, there probably will not be a lot of 8 or 9 inning starts for Jared Jones, and maybe not that many 7 inning starts, but I don't know, man. I'm really struggling with this because my natural inclination is to not overreact to a small sample size. But when you watch Jared Jones pitch, when you look into the numbers, there's just so much to like about him. I don't throw this comp out lightly, but he looks like Spencer Strider. Elite fastball by Stuff Plus metric on Fangraphs, the best fastball in baseball right now. Slider, top 15 slider. Even the curveball and changeup, which he threw 5 times today, both rate out as good pitches. It looks like a legit starter profile. It looks like he looks like an ace. I moved him up to 26 at starting pitcher. That's a strong, strong ranking for a guy who wasn't a top 75 pitcher coming into the season. But honestly, my heart and my brain are both telling me that 26 is not high enough for Jared Jones.
All right. For more extensive fantasy baseball coverage, listen to the Fantasy Baseball Today podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, the Odyssey app, or anywhere else podcasts are found. Thanks for listening to Fantasy Baseball Today in 5, and we will be back again tomorrow. Bye-bye.